Go to work. You gotta love it. How are you? We are live today. Welcome to the StreamYard show. Because I know we always do the anchor show. Go to work. So it's pretty neat to see the one and only Fred Shaw.
What's going on? Go to work, go to work, go to work.
That boy right there.
Can you
It
hear
seems
me?
like we haven't seen each other since last year.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. Yeah.
That's
So you can
great.
hear me
It's
well?
always. Hmm?
You can hear me pretty good?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Go to work. Just
I
like
can hear you, but it's a little low, but we can work with it.
okay, all right, go to work, go to work. Well, yes, I can always talk louder for you. You understand me?
Oh, I can hear you. That's good.
All right, go to work. So, yes, indeed, the one and only Fred Shaw from CCHR, president of the Inglewood South Bay NAACP, and the list goes on. You want to introduce yourself now that you're ready? Go to work.
Oh yeah, I'm just like you said, I'm the president of the Inglewood South Bay NAACP. I'm the Western Regional Director of the National Action Network Mental Health Justice Committee. I'm a member of the Baptist Ministers Conference, the Southern Bureau of Ministers Alliance, the LAPD clergy. Uh, we can go on, but we ain't trying to talk about me. We just trying to talk about subjects that can benefit our people. And
Yeah.
so, if I may, I'd start off with the topic: the total number of people taking psychiatric drugs in the U.S.
Yes.
Now, I usually break this down into categories, and I will do that today.
Mhm.
But the main thing is that we got to talk about when we talking about all psychiatric drugs, we're talking about 76 million people. Now, there's only 325 million in the nation.
Mhm.
So we're talking about 25% of the people or more on some form of psychiatric drug. That talks to me about the ineffectiveness of mental health.
Mhm.
People should be getting better. The industry shouldn't be expanding. And
Right.
there's a trick that's being played on people right now when you get to treat the the so-called cure because it is ineffective and it helps expand. For example, let me say what I'm talking about. If you have 76 million people, and that's near a fourth of the American population, then we got to ask ourselves, what are we doing to make things better? I mean, when we look at the fact that veterans are killing themselves at 20 a day, when we look at the fact that we are allowing people to benefit, profit, without having to come up with any results, if law enforcement never showed where crime decreased, and as long as we have law enforcement that increased, and the more cops that we hired, the worse the situation got, we would be looking at something else different. If General Motors produced cars that didn't work, they would be out of business. But when it comes to mental health, there is no standard because there is no true treatment. There is no true medication that makes people better. All these drugs do is to dumb people down. And so we have to be very careful when we start talking about progress in the field of mental health and getting so many kids hooked on these drugs. I mean, it's like I was looking at a CDC report and it was talking about the virus and giving it to kids. When you look at children, especially under 12, under 18 and stuff, the chances of them dying from the virus is like less than 1%. It's almost like you have to take the medication so that there are no deaths because there are no deaths. It's like the children dying so infrequent. Now on the news, they come with us, mother, father, brother, sister, twins die. But they had to search the world to find that. They had to tell us all the twins that died were in Switzerland or Australia, whatever. Well, my own family members, I remember one of my cousins died. His sons were preparing his funeral. One of the sons died. And before they could get the second funeral, the third son died. Well, we say, wow, but this was 20 years ago. It's like those things happen. So we have to be very diligent in making sure that what we see is what we see. Now, again, I always do this. I don't know why this subject of the virus keep coming up, but I always tell people you make your own decisions. You figure it out for what's best for you and your family. And the same thing is for mental health.
Absolutely.
The same thing. Huh?
Sorry about that. Absolutely. Yes, I wanted to introduce OG Big Mama. I'm not sure if you've seen her come on here right there, go to work. Absolutely. So
OG
you all talk
Big
about
Mama.
mental health and housing, go to work.
OG Big Mama got to hook up with us over in the NAACP, see how we can help them with the housing. That's on you to set up. That's on you to set up. How you doing, OG Big Mama?
Great, and yourself?
Good. So another thing that I wanted to, and you cut me off when you want to, Nichelle, make sure whatever you want for your show. Another thing is, when it comes to psychiatric drugs, children from 0 to 5, there are 416,000 of them on psychiatric drugs. That's from 0 to 5. When we look at from 0 to 1, now why would a kid between 0 to 1 be on a psychiatric drug? I mean, how do you even know that a kid from 0 to 1 need to be on a psychiatric drug? But we got something like 85,000 kids. We can almost fill up the Coliseum with nothing but kids on drugs. And then we run around and tell everybody, say no to drugs when we do nothing but prescribe drugs. You know, so these are the things that we look at. If you go, I would like to just tell the audience, we call children 2 to 3 years of age, we talk about the terrible twos. But I got the statistics here that say kids from 2 to 3 years old, there are 138,000 kids from that age on psychiatric drugs. When we already know that this is the time in life when they're experimenting, when they're touching, when they want what they want, because you know they can just came through where they can cry and get anything they want. They can get their diapers changed, they can get the food they want, they can get the way they want, they can play with the toy, and you just say he's just a little kid. But around 2 to 3, we start tightening the rope on them a little bit. No, it's time for you to do what we. So he acts out because he's the smallest thing in the environment. And so he wants his way, but now we drug him. Now, when I was 2 years old, they grab your little hand and pull you on with them. And every now and then you might have got tapped. But we wasn't drugging kids. So those are the things that I'm talking about. And I got endless statistics on this type of thing. I can talk about all types of drugs and how they do this, and we can break it down.
Do you have the range of middle schoolers? How many middle schoolers are on drugs?
What would you want to know? Would you want to know
how many you have? Like you have 100.
Wait a minute. I got a question. How do they end up on the drugs? Is it because of their parents?
Most of the parents believe their doctors. It's just like when we go to get somebody to do our taxes, or we're in trouble and we need a lawyer. Most people, especially in America, especially in our communities, have been trained to listen to authority. because the educational level of our people are low to the point we don't do our own research. We don't look into it. We don't see both sides. We go with what I call the lazy man approach, where we listen only on the news, and what they say we take to be true, and we don't even question it sometimes. So what happens is the parents take the information from the doctors and then listen to them. And then don't forget, most of us got somebody in our family who is a controlling person, who may be in the medical field, and then they come up with these suggestions. Well, you need to take him to see a doctor because he act up, or that boy seemed to be slow. Everybody ain't built out of the same model. And I'm gonna just tell you this. I knew a kid that stood on the desk, cursed out the whole classroom, who used to get in all kind of trouble, who talked continuously, who every now and then got in them scraps and stuff, who didn't conform. And now you're talking to him on this streamline yard call, who is a minister, who's written several books, who is a community leader, who is in all type, who passed federal legislation. Why? Because my parents dealt with me in a whole different way. They gave tough love, and then they gave a lot of love. And then I was able to navigate through these things. I wasn't always as civilized as I am now. I almost threw my life away like a lot of kids, but I got through that point, and now here I am today as a person who's done the things that I just mentioned. But I could have been a handful, and probably in this day and age, I might have been on these psych drugs. So, because these psych drugs are not built for mental health, they are designed for mental control. And so when they give it to you, it is to control you. It is to slow you down. It is to make you behave. It is to formulate you in a structure that they want you to be in, and you don't get to be independent, and you don't get to be able to be yourself.
Absolutely. And with that in mind, we have Double G. Double G. That's what he named himself today.
Well, it's officially Anthony Rush, the journalist, AKA, so how's everybody doing this evening?
Wonderful. And you?
I'm pretty good. I was just make sure I was getting up to speed with what this young man was talking about, and he has a point what he was saying.
Absolutely. By chance, as I don't think, yes, you have met Double G, but your camera's not on. So just in case.
My camera's not on?
No, your camera's
not there on. We are.
Yeah, okay.
Now it is. There we go.
Mine flipped out. Hold on. Let me try to find. Mine flipped out.
Wow. I turned mine on and his went off. There we go. Okay.
Go to work. It looked like a game show for a minute there.
Well, wait a minute. What now in his show in Inglewood?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I remember him.
This young lady is my she's my media mentor. She's my sensei in a lot of this stuff. I learned a lot from her. So she's just bringing me to the table and I'm just trying to get in where I fit in and make a positive contribution. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. Go to work. So yes, indeed, we're talking about mental health right now. And Reverend Shaw to be a spokesperson for CCHR, and audience that may not know what CCHR stands for, that's Citizens Commissions on Human Rights. And he's also the president of the Inglewood South Bay NAACP, where we have the SoFi Stadium, and where Anthony Rush, aka Double G, has a Monday show at 7 p.m. on Accelerated Radio. Go to work. Yes, it is.
Nichelle, you mentioned middle school. So are you talking about kids from 12, 13, 14 or whatever?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Well, let me just say this. When it comes to ADHD drugs, from kids 6 to 12 years of age, there's 1,750,000 kids on those psychiatric drugs in that age range. Check this out. From 13 to 17, this is the way it's broke down in my statistics. There's 1.4 million. So from 12 to 17, we're dealing with over 3 million children on ADHD drugs. See,
and you said this is coming from the CDC. You got
this right here is all of the information is coming from everywhere on the planet. This comes out of a database that is even deeper than the Freedom of Information Act. So it's like you don't even get these types of statistics in most of these databases. They give you a more generic. This here, this is stuff that people can't dispute. You know, they can try to lie about it and everything, but when I created the resolution from the NAACP a few years ago, there were people who attacked it because there's people who want to go along with this program because they make money on this. Well, the NAACP was forced to investigate and look themselves, and they had to come back and say that everything I said was true. So the thing is that I'm not playing with these statistics. I got it broke down to where I can tell you how many ADHD, how many anti-anxiety drugs, how many mood stabilizers, antidepressants. I got this all broke down in categories to where my information is undisputable. But the key is this. I'm trying to protect the Black community. I'm not telling people not to get mental health treatment if they need it. If your child is a danger to himself and someone else, you do what you can to get the situation stabilized. I'm not disputing that. What I'm talking about is that you tell me that I have ADHD. You diagnose me with that. I want to know if I have ADHD, how did I get to the hospital from my home so that you could diagnose me? Because if I can't pay attention, then how am I navigating through those lights and all those cars and stuff? See, sometimes we have to break things down to the ridiculous so that we can actually see the truth of a thing. And how much it is we need treatment, or how much it is the money that's being made in it. For example, let's just take this vaccine. Wherever people stand on it, they stand on it. But if you say that we all need a shot, we all need a second shot, we all need a booster. There's 7 to 8 billion people on the planet. That's up to 24 billion shots. How much money is being made on that? We ain't talking about the testing kits and all of that. How much money?
Right.
A lot
on that.
You know, honestly, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I was going to say, honestly, that's one of the main reasons I refuse to get vaccinated, because they're making profit off of us, like they made profit off of the inner city communities when they introduced cocaine to the inner city communities. And that's a government thing. And that's just my own stance. I don't expect anybody to, walk in my shoes, but that's why anytime the government is giving away anything, you have to second guess it, because they really don't have our best interests at heart, like you're saying. Just my opinion.
Yeah, but they gonna come up with a way where they trying to figure out a way where everybody got to take it, or something gonna happen. That's what I heard on the news. That's what I heard on the news. I'm telling you, they trying to make sure that every resident has the vaccine, or they some way it ain't gonna be able to move or something. You know what I'm saying? So,
everything's biblical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that. I ain't going there.
It's a time and a place, and you know what I mean? They trying to turn back them hands so they can get the control. They ain't got no control.
How do you want to implement what you can do during this time?
Say the question again, please.
OG Big Mama. So what is it that you want to implement right now with what you can do at this time?
Well, what we have, okay, I'm gonna go old school for a minute. Old school, we was raised on the stuff that killed 99.99% of viruses. That's Pine Sol, Clorox, bleach, and basically social distancing. That's just what you have to do. You have to just protect yourself the safest way. It's only my opinion. The way you feel is the safest way, because people aren't taking this thing serious. And then you have they actually bank on people not taking this serious. They bank on you. They profit off of these hospital visits. They profit off of these booster. When they see the people in line, they look at it as dollar signs, because that's so many, because I'm an ex-drug dealer. I'm gonna keep it real. So when you see a lot of clientele, I'm just gonna keep it real. When you see a lot of people, that's dollars. So when you see a lot of dollars rolling in, it's real easy to not care about, the people. And that pretty much is what's going on. I saw the doctor, what's his name?
Okay,
Fauci,
hold on. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna back up a little bit so we don't put anybody under the we just want to be careful with a couple of different things. So a doctor you observed on the news.
Yeah.
And your comment?
No, like I said, it's just my opinion, and that's just my opinion. I don't want to go any further because I realize, I kind of caught myself like, okay, I'm getting a little deep, but these are things I've been observing, and the whole this situation is about profits because, well, I'm talking about it again. The whole situation is about profits. It is my opinion.
True, absolutely. Let me just interject a word here. Well, I need to do that on the side because I don't want to give anybody any leeway with something, but it's a vocabulary word that I just want to share at a later time. Right now, I want to say, what can you do to help us in our community with like what you already said? You told us some information about what you suggest that we do, and is it any other observation that you made to help us to be more productive in our community?
What do you want to be said right now?
From you, because I did say OG Big Mama, but then Double G, he didn't hear me say your name. I was trying to get you. I'm working on you to share a connection to your Complete 360 business, but he didn't hear me say your name at the time. So no.
What am I trying? What I'm trying to do right now. What I'm trying to do is partner with the right organizations to change homelessness. That's what you're talking about.
Go to work. Absolutely.
That's what I'm tapping into. My communities, which is all communities, and our people that's out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really ridiculous. And it ain't getting no better. Because I don't know who doing what and where, but I'm tired of all the streets smelling like a big old toilet.
Yeah.
It's getting out of hand.
Well, one of the things that we have to look at is the fact that if you go across the nation and you go into the inner cities, the ghettos look the same. The reason they look the same is because this is by design. Exactly. This is the way they do housing tracts. This is the way they do mansions. This is the way the areas reflect what the builders are trying to do. So what they do is they design these communities. The whole thing, when you look at the educational systems, when you look at, like you take Black kids, almost twice as likely to be put on psychiatric drugs and stuff because of educational deficiencies, instead of just trying to handle the problems of the kids like Nichelle do, like I've done in the past and stuff. We can reach these kids, we can change these kids, but the system does not want that. And as long as you have people, and when I say education, I'm not talking about knowing your timetables and being able to recite sentences. I'm talking about having the ability to go in and get information anywhere you want in the world, that you can study something, that you have the ability to go in and get law books and be able to absorb that knowledge. That's what I'm talking about with education. I don't care about a person's degree. I don't care about what college they went to, because the world is messed up like it is with all these degrees out here. So that ain't it. It's your ability to function. It's your ability to get out here in the community, make the change. Don't tell me you're an expert in the economy and you can't fix it. If you're an expert, then you should be able to fix it. So this is what we need to do, is start demanding product and production, so that people are interacting with us. We say, okay, cool. We hear all this about your good ideas. How do you make them come to fruition?
That
if you
part
want
right
to
there.
the homeless, we got to be able to have programs that take them in categories. There are some homeless people who are very intelligent and stuff. Let's fix those people. There are some people who are only there because they don't have a place to go, because they're impoverished. Let's fix those people. There are some people we might have to turn over to mental health because they took drugs and stuff that destroyed their minds and things. But if we don't address the true issues, we keep, like she say, going through this toilet that we have in a community, and we never get out of it. The same things that we were fighting 50, 60 years ago, we look up and we fight now. Police abuse, lack of education, all of these things. So we have to change, and we got to do that through unification. And we can't let them keep dangling the carrots that separate us so that we all want to be the next Martin Luther King. No, if you want to be the next Martin Luther King, get out here and make some change. That's not by backstabbing and selling out and doing all this stuff.
See, but this from a young brother's perspective. I don't want another leader. I don't need another leader. I'm intelligent enough to know right and from wrong, and I have God in my life. I don't need nobody with the same flesh trying to tell me the same song I've been hearing. What I'm saying is we need to start holding people accountable. If we vote them in, if whatever your job is, then we need to hold you accountable for your job title. People like to stand on their titles. So, okay, Professor so-and-so and Dr. so-and-so and Mrs. so-and-so and CEO so-and-so, we need to hold them accountable. So you're saying you're doing this, you're saying you're doing that, but who's watching you to make sure you're doing that? That's the problem with a lot of things, honestly. Accountability. Nobody's holding these people accountable for what they're saying, for what they're doing. Like, I've been watching court TV a lot, and I'm not straying, but what I've been seeing on court TV is accountability. These officers are being held accountable. These people are being held accountable for their actions, and that's what it is. Exposure and accountability. And we can get a lot of things done, because now people know people are watching them not do their job, not doing. Like, look, it took a certain person, you say not to use names, it took for a certain person to almost get recalled for him to, get back in, and start doing things. It takes for you to put people's position in jeopardy, because that's all they care about. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the community. They care about their position. So hold them accountable. Like the mayors, like the councilwomen, the council, the Senate, the Congress. We have to start holding people accountable, and that's what I don't hear anyone saying. Everybody's talking about, we need to do this, we need to do that. Well, we've done everything, and that stuff doesn't work. Accountability works, because don't nobody want to be held accountable for the stuff they are not doing. Real talk.
Well, I feel like this. Whoever want to do that, go ahead and do that. I want to get this money to do this housing. So, like, Reverend said, for public education, because we need to educate them. But first, we need to house them. It's housing first. Can't do nothing until we get them housed. And like he said, how they do it in the institutions, find out who needs to go where. Find out who's intelligent so they can be in the right spot to help us teach everybody else and do what we got to do. And whoever's really mental, get everybody where they at, because where they need to be, because what they did is when they closed down all the mental facilities and put everybody on that's why mostly everybody on the street. And then stores is open 24/7. So everybody moved from different states here. They can get high here. They can get everything they need here. So they moved here. They changed the county situation where, you know, when back in the day you couldn't even have a man in your house. Now they ain't checking. So everything's just loose. It's like a free fall. So we overpopulated with everything.
No, I hear you. I agree.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Go to work.
You know, and some people, you know, that might be out here like, you know, don't have a house. You know what I mean. And some of them can afford it. I mean, can't afford it, and that's why they on the streets. You know, everybody on there ain't on drugs and ain't mental. So that's why I'm trying to get in the housing, you know, try to help people out. You know, if the funding, if I get it where I can get the funding, oh, I'm gonna make a change.
Go to work. That part right there. And just to make a connection before I introduce Crystal, once again, Double G was sharing about accountability, and I'm so excited about that. I'm just like, that is fire, because I know that Reverend Shaw, we talked about it numerous of times on our weekly anchor show, and we have CCHR that's been doing a profound job on bringing things to the politicians in Washington, D.C. and so forth, and creating legislature addendums and so much more. Can I get you to speak about that, Reverend Fred Shaw, as soon as I introduce Crystal?
Okay, well, what we're doing, back in 2003, I was very instrumental in helping get a legislation passed, a federal law that prohibited schools from forcing parents to put their kids on drugs to be in the school. And we were able to get that passed through the legislature. We were able to get that signed by George Bush, and it became federal law. So what I learned from that was the fact that if you can get the teams, if you can get to the people, if you can present the argument, you know, sometimes you penetrate through that shell they have up there, and you can get the spirit of cooperation. A lot of times these politicians, they need certain bills that they can say that they have fought for, so that they can enhance their careers. They can come back to the community and say, re-elect me. This is what I've done. These are the, you know, one of the top people doing that is Steve Bradford. You know, he's gotten a lot of different things done. A lot of times we spend time mad at him, but at the same time, he's done some great legislation. If we're going to change laws, if we're going to make certain things happen, we have to be able to get in there and get the legislators to help. So they have me right now. They're trying to get me to meet with the nation's mayors, total as a group, and also as the mayors, Black mayors in America. I have started already going in and meeting with Congress people like Danny Davis and different people. We're meeting with them to get legislation passed and stuff. It is a long, hard process, because you're going up against the money. You know, when we did that, and I won't continue, but when we did that Child Safety Medication Act, it was 6 of us up on the Hill going to every room in Congress, going to every room in the U.S. Senate, talking to all of them, and we were able to maneuver when there was 600 lobbyists up on the Hill pushing drugs and medication. We were able to sneak around them. We were like a self plane. We went in and hit. We were sticking and moving, and we was getting agreement. And then when it came down, then they passed it. So there's a lot of work there that goes on behind the scenes that people don't notice happening, but we have to be able to go in there and be strategic. One of the problems our community have is that we're emotional. We got to be strategic. So that's what I would say on that.
Yeah, that's a cool word when you say strategic. When basically it's a lot of red tape, you know, and it's designed red tape, unfortunately. And that's what the problem is. It's the red tape that's designed to keep people from getting help or assistance from government officials. That's the problem. That's one of the main problems with our country. Like you said, we're fighting against that. and until we start holding the people accountable, I'm bringing it right back to accountability. It's until we start holding those people accountable for what they're not doing. Like you said, you have all these people that you had to try to get around. Why do I have to try to get around these people? What is your position in Congress, or what is your position where I have to get around you to get this thing into the right hands? And our government has a lot of agencies and offices that they probably can get rid of, that just create the red tape that you're talking about. Because what I heard is a lot of red tape, because when a certain party, no matter what party it is, when they want to get something passed, they pass it. So if they don't want it to get passed, then here comes the red tape. So
go to work.
How do we deal with the red tape? Is what I'm talking about. I don't want to put nobody else in up there. That's more red tape. I don't believe nobody promises, because we're all human. I want the people who we put in those positions to do the jobs that we put them in positions to do. That's where I want to focus my flashlight on. Who's not doing what they do? Excuse me.
That's the whole thing. They answer to somebody higher than all of us.
Yeah, so, and that's what I'm saying. So it's just my opinion.
Okay, 1 second, real quick. Let me introduce Crystal. Thank you for waiting patiently. I just want to formally introduce you today.
Hey, family.
Is a good day for learning as well. Go to work. How are you doing? The one and only. She's a singer, a singer, and so much more. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Praise the Lord. Should I sit on the floor so I can say I'm floored? With this wonderful audience here. This is the wonderful power pack audience team you got. Well, they're not the audience. They are the group, the peer group that's presenting to the audience. So I want to say definitely shout out to Brother Pastor Elder Fred Shaw, you understand, Junior, you understand. Right. And of course, we see Double G, and of course, OG Big Mama. And I don't know if Brother Hanley is on the line, but my girl, go to work, girl. You working that hairstyle, sugar. I'm still in my hat. It's all good. It's all good. I'm still in my hat. But look here. I'm in the middle part of my building up here in the country. And, they just did a little video up in here. I'm proud of that. First video done in here today. We had a lot of firsts happening the first of the year, the first month. And I just want you all to know what I'm hearing. Double G, just get some clear tape, baby. Use some clear tape you can get. It's called packing tape. You don't need to deal with the red tape no more, sugar. Y'all go buy some clear tape and make it crystal clear what you're doing and what you're taping together. You won't have to guess it and wonder. I'm very serious about that. It's almost like what they used to say at the Black Hollywood meetings they used to do, the NAACP. Where's the dough? How come y'all ain't letting the Black people in the industry? Where's the dough? And somebody came on one of the panels and said, you have to create your own door. Ain't no door. So you don't want the red tape, get the clear tape, white tape, blue tape, whatever, because it's about us doing what we do, presenting the communities that we want Stephen and everybody else to go handle. It's our communities that we present our events. So when they come, they see us already in motion, in order, getting our people in the position our people need to be in. We have everything we need. I don't know what you're saying. Can you hear me? What happened? What you saying, Nisha?
Yes, and I wanted you to make a connection to, we do have a few people, and that's in Washington, D.C. that can make some moves, and that's ready, that helps us with grassroots events.
Well, yes. That's why I said, let's get the canvassing of our communities and neighborhoods. Let's register people who want to be a part of the Go to Work, Journey to Stardom Productions, the music labels that are here, represented Double G, all the artistry that is here. You have to come with numbers of what you're representing. If you want them to move and change, who's going to be behind that change? 10,000 of your people, 1,000 of your people, 100 of your people, or 10 of you. So who's behind your change in the community that's supporting you? Now, the events that we do, that's what gets the community involved. So that's what I'm saying. This is the third day. I feel good. I've been on this show 3 days now. So I said, get the calendar events. My eyes are really sensitive, y'all. I'm getting 60 something plus years, so my eyes are real sensitive to the light. But what I'm saying, get the calendar events done from January to March, because there's monies on the table, in the bank accounts, in the pocketbooks, anywhere you look, there's money. But are you, not say capable, able, ready, but are you fitting the category, the budget line item of what the money is saying? Because there's a format for all of it. And we've been hearing these meetings, so get ourselves together in the paper format and then the action of it. I'm doing this tomorrow. We're getting together, doing the Martin Luther King weekend. We filming. We giving honor to my husband at the barbershop in Inglewood. Fred Shaw, I need to see you up in there around the afternoon sometime. Just roll through Manchester, see what's happening, because it's on. You understand me? And I was challenging y'all from that first, second day. I ain't playing. I ain't turning back on nothing. Come on, Big Mama OG, let's put it down. Now, okay, I'm a hush. So I'm gonna put it on mute and y'all talk about it, and you know where I am. You understand me? You know what I'm representing. You ain't got to say another word about it. Just do it.
All right, go ahead. So Reverend Shaw, can you tell us, teach us the process, or would you like to come back on another day, or can I work with you with a PowerPoint to learn about the process of how you all were successful with CCHR to get information?
Well, the key is that you always have to keep showing up, and everywhere I can be, everywhere I can get in and fit in, everywhere I can make a difference, where I can help somebody, that's what I try to do. They say a person is only as valuable as he can serve others, and so therefore I go from that perspective. But the thing is this: we have to understand that when we out here lobbying and stuff, and I'm gonna tell you what a congressperson told me. I will not say who that congressperson is,
right,
but I will tell you that they told me, they said, I gave them a real pitch, statistics, stuff, what's going on in the field of mental health, how, they treat potential suicide people with drugs that have suicide warning label, which basically tips them over into committing those type of suicides and stuff like that. And the congressperson told me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I believe everything you say. I've got some experiences in my own family, people I know, things like this. This is the problem we got. If I take the position that you have, the big money people will come after me. And I won't even be able to do the other good works that I do in the other areas. So to be able to progress in the other areas of interest, I choose not to go up against these big corporations. That's what we're facing. It's not that people don't want to do it. It's the fact that there's consequences when you go against, the Roman Empire. That's what happens.
The consequences.
So, we have to know that, because we'll get our people up there and then they seem like they selling us out, but it's not. Their hands are tied. And they, these people are more than a notion. Whole ideas are come out of these think tanks that these big corporations do. It's like, for example, we look at the industrial complex, the prison industrial complex. We can rattle about it, we can talk about it, but there's a group that's behind that, that influences the politicians to pass the 3-strike laws, to pass these type of things. There's people who pay into the industry to make sure that Black people get paid from promoting the negativity and things like that. Those are the things that are systemically killing us as a people, because we have not come to the point where we have the money or the politicians with the will to fight back.
Shit, we ain't gonna never be. It's not designed for us to win.
We got to get. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said it's not designed for us to win.
But,
all right, look.
So we're gonna fall into that trap. We're gonna keep falling into that trap. What is designed? We know we are aware of all the pitfalls. So this is why you have to organize among yourselves, your families, your communities, and almost like in a secret positioning. You ain't got to sound the alarm. Okay, we finna get 1 million niggas together. We finna do this, that, and the other. No, it's just start getting everybody healthy, mentally, physically, and spiritually, informing and doing. That's why I said get the clear tape, because it's not about red taping it anymore and the chalking it off. It's about, look, we are supplying this to our community. We supplying this to our community. We got cases of lemons. We got cases of alcohol. We got cases of non-perishable. What are we preparing for our emergency situations that are due because of what has been going on? And it's been told to us that things are lining up to take over in martial law because of what's been happening, what's been allowed, what has been going on. We know. What are we prepared to do today, right now?
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's where I am right now. And our raising of the money is as soon as we open our mouth and ask for it and have the paperwork to back it up. You got your paperwork, your track record speaks for itself, your bank account, your budget says, get the money. That can be done overnight because we know the people. We have to open up our mouth and ask for what we need immediately. Don't beat around the bush. And I'm trying to help the homeless. And no, I got this place right here, $100,000 down. We carry the note. We do this, that, and the other. The payments is this. That's what needs to be negotiated right now. Because they know all the other stuff. They know the fluff. They done wrote the fluff. But bring the reality of what's going to change it in 24 hours. We that bad. I told you we are the baddest team on the planet. We ain't rolling with nobody less. I'm 61 years old. What do I have to sit up here and look and wait for? Our generation started so much of this and it's been consistently moving on. What else do we need to know to prove who we are and what we're here to do? It's music, it's art, it's television production, it's fashion, it's our creativity that changes the world. We know it, do it, fluid. Because I'm mad about it and I'm willing to step up and do it. So I'm doing mine. That's what I'm telling y'all, please. Get your calendar together, get your people together and do it.
Amen. Absolutely. Go to work. Because yes, the more we operate as if we do have the money, the more we operate as if it's already done. About like Reverend Shaw was talking about 50 years since certain things have been transpired. What has happened within that time frame? What are the positive things? There are some things that have been changed, yes, 50 years ago, but have we been uplifting those things, or have we been managing the successes? So with that in mind, if we did operate as if we have managed those successes that we had overcame 50 years ago, then we would be in another place right now. So it is some successes that we can operate right now. It is not over. It is not a loss. You know, we have challenges. Yes, we have obstacles to overcome, but it's something that we can do now. We can look back in the past and look at those successes and then marginalize what could we do as if it was a football game, come from the sideline, pick up the ball and run it to home, to the end zone. We can still do that. It's still a way. It's not, we have to focus on the positivity and to be optimistic, and we have to operate as if we had the money. If we have the money, then we could do more. But the more we just look at what is not happening or what hasn't happened, then we stay stagnated. So we do have to gravitate to the more positivity and be more fluid and actually create more things. So like right now, we created this wonderful platform so that way we can get more input. And now we have the opportunity to learn from Reverend Fred Shaw. How did they overcome that adversity or that challenge? We still have so many challenges. I'm thinking about the change.org as well. There's so many projects that's still there that we know that we need to overcome. But because we have one success, that lets you know we can have more.
Right. Right. But what the Double G said is something I don't want people to forget about. We do have to take responsibility.
Yes.
We do have to, it's so funny. You can say one word, and I'm not attacking them. I actually am admiring it. But you can say one word against the Jewish community and they will come at you with full force. We say a word and they talk about we bringing up that old stuff from slavery. They talk about we still stuck in the civil rights movement. Even some of our own people are stuck into that. But every time you say something anti-Semitic, our Jewish brothers come after you. They have a motto, never forget. We seem to operate, we don't want to remember. We have to say, hey, when you come after us, and we gotta come after ourselves. Because right now, other than the Hispanic community, nobody's killing themselves like we do. Not saying that they don't kill themselves, but we are the top dog on all of the negative stuff that come into our community. We want to wipe out the police, but we don't want to deal with our own problem. Taco from Ceasefire said a year ago or so, maybe 2 years now, we were all complaining about what law enforcement was doing to Black people. There had been 106 killings. 104 of them was done by us. 2 were done by police. But we were marching on police, but we wasn't dealing with ourselves. So when we talk about accountability, we got to be willing to confront the things that we don't want to look at. See, because we still playing with games like, oh, no snitch and all of that old stuff. I tell people all the time, I don't snitch on anybody. I tell on people. You rape somebody and I see it, I'm telling on you. Know it from the get-go. I'm not being a part of this degradation that goes down in our community and nobody say nothing when our women and children are being victims. We got to change that. And until we love ourselves, ain't nobody else gonna love us.
This is true.
So, and that's why the gang started back in the 70s, because they were coming over into other neighborhoods, bothering older mothers and snatching their purses and stuff. And so the people on that neighborhood say, no, you ain't coming over here messing with our mothers, beating and taking. So that's how that started. So what I say, when I say have the events, we are the providers of what our people need. Mentally, physically, spiritually, we are responsible to make sure our children are getting nutritious food. Make sure if somebody says, I got symptoms of anything, we can go to a health cabinet and pull out something that we know is for that symptom and not have to go take a COVID test. See, these are things that we have been systematically keep going into some foolishness. God gave us power and authority over what we got, our real estate, our physical, mental, spiritual self, our tripart being. And if we can't handle our own self, what the heck? So this is what I want us to become, the resource providers for the simplest thing. If they need some shoelaces, go down there to Brother Bobby. He got some shoelaces in the little kiosk. We have to become more visible in our communities. We have to become more like we are concerned about what's happening in our communities. You know, this system that's going on now, they want everybody to quarantine and hide and mask up and do all this and do, and that's got everybody in disarray. So we have to be real about, okay, well, get that Lysol, just start spraying it up in the air, wherever you are, get cases of, we have to take authority and responsibility for being able to survive mentally, physically, and spiritually, and trust God Most High, the universe, the power for the rest.
Go to work.
He said, do your best and let God do the rest.
That part right there.
We can't sit up here and keep getting bounded down by somebody's negative, whatever they decide they want to do, and go mass produce it. So what? We got one television or one, so we just mass produce through telling it like we know to tell it. You tell a nigga, tell a story, tell it like whatever, it'll get there. And niggas, yeah, king niggas, that's how it goes. So don't be detrimental thinking that niggas is negative. It's royalty. And so we got to realize who we are in that respect, because the word of God say we are a royal priesthood, and I was gonna say read Revelation 3. Of who we are too, and who every day. So we playing. This is the word. What Brad Carson say? Nothing but the word.
Go to work. Shout out
That's
to
my
Brad
weapon of
Carson.
warfare. Nothing but the word.
That part.
I'm in my building. It's loud.
Go to work. Did you want to share your event as we wrap up?
Which one?
For tomorrow?
Oh, the show tomorrow? Well, we're on Morris Media, but that's at 12 noon. I want to keep everything coming to you, Nichelle, because I want to build up your campaign, okay? I'm a part of your team, so I want everything to come through you. You hear me? Because this is power right here. This is power. I feel very good about this. This is very connected. You going, I don't know, to me, this is the third day for me. So live at 5 is going to be cracking all from all around.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You on the map for this one, sis. So y'all take that to everywhere you want to go.
Go to work. Go to work. Yes, I had a crash course of ending the show yesterday. I have to end the show today for sure. 6 o'clock. I have another Zoom. So, but
science, technology, engineering, art, math. Y'all do some science programs in your book. There's plenty money for STEAM. There's plenty money for STEAM from the White House level. Okay, so get some programs, get the flyer together, and we can present that to the people that we work with on the East. Thank you.
Right after this, 6 o'clock.
Go to work. OG Big Mama, did you want to share about your website as we wrap up, or your company?
www.ogcomplete360.com, www.ogflatlandent.com. No, but I'm trying to get these funds though, to get this housing, you know what I mean? Because Project Home Key is you get all your paperwork together, they pay. And I just got a whole lot of people that I have to call. They have people that help you get the operating money together, you know, to fund you to do these things. And I took these classes, you know, I took 3 training classes for trauma project manager. Oh, and Miss Nichelle, I just came from rehabilitation to get a job, you know what I'm saying, to help me get the people for this. And guess what? Guess where they gave me some leads to?
Where?
WLCAC.
Oh, go to work. Go to work.
They hired, so I'm finna do my application.
Okay, all right now. Congratulations. Go to work. So if you are available, tune in, give us some more update about that. That'd be great. Double G.
Hey, fam.
Go
Man, I just want to thank everybody. I don't want to take too much time. I just want to thank everybody. It's your boy, the journalist, aka music artist, Double G. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, my whole thing is accountability. So the piece of the puzzle that I plan on being is I'm going to hold the people accountable for the things that they say they're going to help us do. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at right there. We getting all these people on board, you know, people get excited, like in church, people get excited, but okay, we need you to stand on what you got excited about and come on aboard. So that's where I'm at with their accountability.
Go to work, go to work. And it's going to be interesting. I want to segue to our show. We have a City Media Teamwork show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Absolutely. Go to work. So it's going to be our first show. And so it's going to be very, very interesting. Go to work, go to work, go to work. Reverend Fred Shaw, you want to close us out today?
Well, you know, I just want to say thanks to everybody that came on and who expressed their different viewpoints. I've learned something from everybody, even if it's just Double G, giving us the perspective from the young people's standpoint. You know, a lot of time we try to act like we know it all, but I got a very humbling experience in a store one day. This is when they were burning down in Baltimore. And a young man was talking to the clerk, and he was talking about what was going on. And I said, young man, you think that's the way we need to handle this? And he said to me, and he was so humble and gracious, he said, but OG, when you guys had it, we ended up here. And it it's like we seem like we know all of the wisdom in the world, and we don't want to learn to our young people. But if nothing else, our young people learn that we didn't have all the answers. And so sometimes we got to listen to them. Thank you for listening to me.
I remember you said that when you came to the show. Man, that's confirmation. You said the same thing. Thank you for sharing that again, family. I appreciate that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go to work, go to work. So thank you once again for joining in, and tune back in at 7 p.m. for the new City Media Teamwork Show with Double G and Go to Work.
Real talk, real talk.
All right. Until next time. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Be safe out there. It's a crazy world.
All righty. Okay, good.